speaking of identities, what is the identity of the ACC? So last night was a pretty good matchup. Duke needed it against Pitt. But if you look at the top of the ACC standings, you see not Virginia, not North Carolina, heck, not even certain programs that we respect the coaches, like Jim Larinaga at Miami or Leonard Hamilton at Florida State. No, it's Clemson. Clemson is 6-0 in ACC play for the first time ever, and it's won 10 straight ACC regular season games. Overall,
and look at that. They play Duke next.
I am elevating us from a lazy ACC takes watch to a lazy ACC takes warning. All right. I've kind of referenced how the National Basketball Illuminati have been talking about the ACC. They'll point to KenPom. It's not overall great. I think the highest KenPom team right now is Virginia. They look at how can Clemson being 6-0 is a true indictment of the ACC. Not necessarily. I will say this about Clemson's schedule. If we know we don't have the round robin anymore, you know whose schedule is actually pretty good the rest of the way? Clemson's. So it's entirely possible they win the league. They're going to make the NCAA tournament at this point. I can't see them just completely losing everything. I know you're making a face.
They've done it before.
I don't see it with the schedule.
They've done it before.
I'll be shocked with the schedule, is what I'm saying.
Meaning, which way are you going on that? You think they have a difficult schedule?
They have an easy schedule.
Easy?
I think they have an easy schedule going forward. So the remaining, we're just 6 games into the. They got Duke, who they can beat, because if you want to get into a rock fight with Duke, I think you can make that happen. Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, who's reeling at this moment in time. So you got that last night. Georgia Tech is meh. Florida State is meh. Boston College also meh. North Carolina can be had, followed by Florida State, Louisville, Syracuse, which is mid. NC State, which we know Brad Brownell has made life miserable for the Wolfpack. And then Notre Dame.
It's here.
Yeah, and then you got Notre Dame to close out the season.
I would give you those odds of Clemson winning the league. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a veteran team. Mm-hmm. And they play hard.
They do.
They make you. Brad Brownell loves to turn every game into a rock fight.
Well, I brought this up to Jeff Capel, Pitt head coach, last night about. I called it a recalibration. Okay. We don't have the Coach K farewell tour that's taking all the air out of the room. We're not in the oh my goodness, Roy Williams just retired. What's happening here? Tony Bennett has had some ebbs and flows since they won a national championship in 2019. So I called it a recalibration, where the usual suspects with the usual coaches are not doing what we expect. So therefore, we have a hard time processing that, oh, by the way, there's other good teams in this league. And just because Clemson happens to be taking advantage of it right now doesn't mean that the ACC is bad. So I asked him thoughts on, what is the status of the league at this point in January?
I think our league is really good. I think our league is the most disrespected good league in the country. And I hate when, especially people that are doing our games talk like it's not good. We heard that all last year, and all we had was 2 teams in the Final Four, another team in the Elite Eight. I think I think our league is really good. It may not be as top-heavy as it was when I first took the Pitt job, and you had 3 overall number 1 seeds in the tournament. But it's a really, really good league. And I wish people would really respect it, across the country like we do as coaches. It's really talented players, really good coaches, great home court environments, great passionate fan bases. And we go out and we win. And especially when we get to the tournament. We've proven that year in and year out. So I don't think we're recalibrating. It's different faces. Obviously, you don't have the quote-unquote legends with Coach and with Coach Williams, but you have really good coaches that have been in this league and been in coaching for a while, like Coach Larinaga and Leonard Hamilton, and obviously Tony is a championship coach. So we have really good coaches, really good players, and I think it's a very good league.
That's Jeff Capel, Pitt head coach, last night on the status of the conference.
You wonder why media types like Jeff Capel, by the way. That's post-game, after a difficult loss.
Yes.
You asked him a question about the league at large, and he gave you that type of answer. Mm-hmm. Great stuff.
He's the best. Love talking to Jeff Capel. And he's right. He's right. Because I brought this up yesterday.
He kept using the word good, which was accurate. There are no great teams in the league this year, and that's fine.
But let's expand that out, because this is my biggest problem with how we talk about college basketball right now. It's a trick question these days. There's nobody great. we have to dislodge ourselves from this idea that there's truly great college basketball teams going on right now. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Houston. Right. I get all that
defensively,
stuff.
Houston. Yeah.
Right.
That doesn't mean they can't be had, but defensively they are.
Any one of these teams can be had. Any one of them. All right?
I don't disagree with that.
So if we understand that the ACC ain't what it used to be, you know what else ain't what it used to be? College basketball, for a variety of reasons, whether it's guys going pro early, whether it's the transfer portal and teams aren't the same, there's no continuity, and even the teams that are older still, like North Carolina, still has their quirks that they have to work through before they can truly break through. So this is not a cop-out. It's more of like guys, college basketball is different, so we got to talk about college basketball differently.
Let me say this though. This is a prime year where you are accurate in what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Anybody can be had, and I can just hear Colton Tudor in the back of my head right now. It's the coaches stupid. It's the coaches stupid. It's the coaches. This is a prime year where Mike Krzyzewski, 2010, would be 92, before not 92, but his late 80s teams, where you're like, who's going to win this thing? Who's going to be in the Final Four? Then you look up and you're like, oh, look, it's Duke.
Hey, it's the coach we know. What do you know?
You know? So I don't think Duke is in that position where they could steal one. Mm-hmm. But that's where we are in college basketball. Who's going to be the coach who goes into that bracket and says, we could take this. The door's open because of what you just said.